Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Power On Weekly, hosted by your boy, Irving Legend, and your girl, Allie Mayhem. Oh, you're introducing yourself now?
Oh, I don't know.
Second episode in, you're already taking over.
I mean, that's what I do with everything.
Yeah, that's true. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us one more time. Big shout out and thank you to everybody who watched our first episode. We really appreciate you watching, and we appreciate your feedback as well. We listened a lot from a lot of you, and we appreciate your support. So yeah. Thank you so much. Now, first of all, happy birthday, Allie. Today's Allie's birthday.
It's my birthday.
It's been her birthday the whole week, by the way.
Hey. Today's my real birthday.
Yeah, your real birthday.
Happy birthday to me. Mm-hmm. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there.
Happy Father's Day.
And happy summer solstice or winter solstice.
If you're
not where we're at.
Is it winter solstice?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, Southern Hemisphere, it is, it's winter, like in Australia.
Well, I know that, but I didn't know that it was actually the day. Anyways, that's cool.
But happy solstice.
Yeah, regardless, wherever you are in the world. And Allie, you had a good start to your birthday week, right? We're gonna talk about a lot of things this week. This week we are gonna talk about the Pokemon event. We are also going to talk about Cyberpunk 2077 being delayed, as well as the EA Play Live event.
Cover.
We do have a lot to cover, but you woke up really happy.
We're gonna go for the most important thing
right
off the bat, though.
Yep.
Pokemon. That's
Pokemon
literally the best birthday gift I could have asked for was Pokemon Snap. I'm sorry, new Pokemon Snap.
Yeah.
Such a creative name. New Pokemon Snap being announced.
Yes. Now, Alyssa has been waiting, and everybody obviously has been waiting. It's over, I think, 20 years since the original one came out. But you have said, since the Wii U times, they need to make a Pokemon Snap.
Yeah.
Even with the tablet and everything, we thought it would be the perfect thing.
Perfect console for it would have been.
Yeah, and they didn't, but finally they have.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think about the trailer when you first saw it? When I ran in.
Literally, first things first, Irving walked in. And I knew it was big news because I literally just woken up and he goes, "Oh my God, you're awake. Okay, I have news. Come out here." And I sat down and it started up and I was like, okay, it's Pokemon. And what could be coming out that he would be so excited to show me? And then the trailer started and I said, "It's Pokemon Snap, isn't it? Isn't it?" And he just grinned. And then I started crying. Yeah, not even joking. I literally welled up and was like, I don't know. It was the weirdest thing. I got so emotional over it. And yeah, like Irving said, I've been saying for years, I would love a new Pokemon Snap. I would I feel still that the other consoles may have been a more perfect fit for it. But yeah, I was super, super overwhelmed and I don't know what I was about to say. I lost my train of thought because now I'm just excited.
It's okay. Yeah, I started seeing all the news that were coming out, and then I saw Alana Pierce kind of reacting to it, and she started crying almost around the same time you did too. And I was like, I need to stop watching this because I started getting teary eyed, and then when I showed you started crying, and then I started crying, and even thinking about it right now, I'm like, That's so weird. That's so weird, right?
It is. It's just. But I don't know, that game for me was it's one of those games. I've always said, so I feel like everyone has their bucket list of what are the only games you would ever want remade or redone. And for me, it's always been Spyro, which I got a year or two ago and was so exciting. Jet Set Radio and Pokemon Snap. Those have been the three go-tos for me. So I'm 2 out of 3 there now.
Nice. You willed it into existence.
I'm trying. Just give me my Jet Set now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I got super overwhelmed. And I think it's just amazing watching a video game that I loved. I thought the graphics were so good back in the day. Mm-hmm. And now they're not. But knowing too, that was first generation. That's how long ago it was. Mm-hmm. There was only one generation out at the time when that game was released. So it's now there are so many other Pokemon to bring into it as well. And then the graphics look great. I'm sure it's going to play really good. And then of course, Lappy.
Yeah, the girl.
I saw Lappy, and I think that's where I started getting really emotional too, because I was like, oh my God, there's my favorite Pokemon, and oh my God, it's Pokemon Snap, and I don't know, I still am a little embarrassed. I literally cried.
You're so cute.
But I'm Game of the year.
Game of the year.
Game of the year.
Now we might have to wait.
Yeah, sorry, Stray Cat game.
Yeah.
New game of the year.
Well, we might have to wait a while. It did say at the end that it was under construction.
Yeah.
No, like solid release date or anything like that.
I don't even care though. Honestly, just knowing it's in production and it's far enough to show something and to see how beautiful it was. I mean, yeah, obviously I would like it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I would like it today for my birthday, but I'm just happy knowing it is literally being worked on and it's gonna be there.
Yeah.
Like, I can be greedy and be like, give it to me now, but just knowing it's there, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm like,
no, it's okay.
I'm all over the place on this one because
fine.
I'm really that excited.
Yeah, no, it looks great. Like you said, they obviously have a huge pool of Pokemon that they can put in there. We did see a good amount of them from old generations, first generations to like the newest one. Even Score Bunny was in there as well. My board Torterra was in there.
Yeah,
like,
you got excited for that one.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and the mechanics were really fun in the original Pokemon Snap. Like, you were obviously on rails, and it was kind of like an on rails shooter where you take photos, but you can toss out little apples to like lure some Pokemon out. You toss apples to like hit like little secret things that would then bring up new Pokemon, and like I hope that they kind of keep that as well.
Yeah,
like in the new game. So it looks really exciting. Now the next couple of things that they talked about are not really as to the level of the Pokemon hype.
That was
Pokemon
hype.
Snap hype, but Pokemon Smile, a cute little mobile game for young kids, trying to get them to get good teeth hygiene and dental hygiene.
We got excited for our friends who had kids. We're like, hey, download this for your kids. Like,
yeah.
Like, it made us wish we had kids to be like, cool, look at this.
Yeah, it was really cute.
It was cute.
Yeah, the commercial was really cute. Yeah. And then we had Pokemon Cafe Mix, which is a free to start game on mobile and on Nintendo Switch, which I think it's out now. Like
I think it got released at like, it was basically like available now.
Yeah, like after the thing. It's a cute little like puzzle game that like, and it looks adorable. The art style is really cute, and the game mechanics are really like, I think they're really similar to like the Tsum Tsum game that my sister and you played in Japan, which is like kind of like a match 'em up kind of a thing and all this other stuff.
I'll probably download it as a time killer when I'm pooping.
All right, confirmed poop game. Yep.
Confirmed alley poops.
Yeah. But I think what also was really liked exciting about it was that when we went to Japan, we went to the Pokemon Cafe. And the
uniforms are the actual ones that the employees wear at the we were like, oh my gosh, that's the actual uniform. Like, I mean, it makes sense that they would do that.
Yeah.
But like seeing it and being like, oh my gosh,
we experienced that like IRL.
Or like knowing that extra bit of detail that maybe someone who hasn't been there wouldn't know. Like being like, wow, like they're really connecting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know for sure.
Yeah, like it was a nice little thing, like a little detail to notice.
Yeah, it was really cute. And then the last thing that they announced was just a Pokemon Go update. Which for
the 5 people who still play Pokemon Go.
Which, man,
sometimes me and Irving get into it when like the weather's nice.
Yeah, and obviously it's really difficult right now because of the Backstreet Boys tour. Comeback tour. Thanks, Game Grumps.
Shout out to Game Grumps.
Yeah. It's kind of difficult to play right now, but they are adding a
something
few
for
things.
At home, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're something about that probably because of what's going on.
Yeah. I, to be honest, I haven't played it in a while, but the only thing that I did notice when I did play it was that you can get like a raid pass, but you can do it like remote raid pass.
That's nice.
You have to buy it though.
That's not nice.
With the coins, yeah.
Never mind, I take it back.
So I had enough coins, and I was like, sure, I'll get it, and I got it. And then I was like, oh, I'll do this raid, the one that we can barely reach right here. And because it's like a raid, you still have to wait for other people to join you. So it was like a 4 difficulty raid, and I was just like, I'm not gonna be able to do this, so I just backed out of it.
Yeah.
Like I still have the pass, which is good, but I was like, that's so. It kind of helps, but it kind of doesn't because you still need people to do it.
Yeah.
So I feel bad because like Pokemon Go is in a really weird spot right now, but everyone will always remember that summer where Pokemon Go released.
The summer of '69.
It was 2016, right? Or something like that. But man, what a year. What a year that was. Not a lot of crazy news. The only biggest news was the Pokemon Snap, new Pokemon Snap. Now, they did say that next week they're doing another, for some reason they're announcing something else as well.
That was
the 24th. Yeah,
that was pretty much just, they were like, we got to release this early for Alyssa's
Yeah.
We can just hold on to the other news.
No, that's exactly
That's
it.
what happened, guys. It was for me.
Yeah. Besides Pokemon Snap, though, I'd love, and I know this sounds kind of weird, but I would love like Pokemon Stadium to also make a return.
I loved Stadium.
Yeah.
Stadium was great.
I think that would be really cool with all the new Pokemon and like the new generations and all that stuff, and like the mini games were even just as fun.
Sorry, I'm all excited. Like, oh, all the mini games are great.
Yeah.
But too, also because now they have Pokemon on console, you don't have to like. Remember, you had to have that little thing that clipped in, and then you put your game cartridge into it, and you were able to like level up your actual Pokemon.
Yeah.
What's nice now is that you have it on Switch, the game's on Switch, so it would be like a really easy way to be like, oh, I want to level this Pokemon up and take them into Stadium. Like, you wouldn't need all those extra like gadgets and gizmos to like make it work. Now, makes sense.
The only thing that doesn't, and I know this is probably why, is because the game has already made the console jump, that the battles already looked really good. But
touche.
But not to the extent of Pokemon Stadium and Coliseum did, where you would see an actual attack, like Surf came in and all that stuff. Like I know that one of Justin's complaints was from the new Pokemon Sword and Shield, was that like even though they like the animations were there, they would do like an attack and it would just be very generic. It would just be like, oh, he used Ember, and he was like, they just move around, and it's not the same dynamic like attacks that they would do in like Pokemon Stadium and stuff like that.
Well, and what was nice about Pokemon Stadium is the whole focus wasn't
catching and
and it was, yes, you could like get the cartridge reader and you could, but that wasn't the focus. Wasn't the whole premise of it was not to to train your Pokemon. That was just a nice added bonus.
Yeah, like
the nice thing was you could literally pick any Pokemon you wanted, make a team and battle, and it was just kind of like having that freedom of like, because in game it's like, oh, I haven't caught that one, but it's like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
And then those mini games were fire.
Oh yeah, they were. Everyone remembers the mini games. The Lickitung,
the Lickitung one is the one I always think about. Every time I think of the Lickitung eating the sushi, like and like running around with his little with his little mouth on fire.
Yeah.
So they were. In fact, I pulled out my N64. Remember, we like sat there for a whole night with people and like just played the mini games of Pokemon Stadium.
No, that was really fun. Yeah.
For your birthday.
Yeah.
Pull back out the 64.
Next birthday, that's what we're gonna do. And then I woke up to sad news, Alyssa.
Sad.
Very sad news. Everyone felt it this week, but Cyberpunk 2077 got delayed again.
Again is keyword there.
Yes. They delayed it back in September, and they said that... no, I'm sorry. They delayed it from April to September. We were supposed to get it at April 16th. And they said, we can't do that date, so we're going to do September 22nd, I think. And this week they said that they can't do that date either, so they're pushing it to November 19th.
It sounds like it could be
console launch
day.
You know, that's what a lot of people were thinking. Now what they said was that they want to make sure that what they deliver is the best that they can. Now, CD Projekt Red is one of the most well-respected, very well liked, very well talked about developers. They're self-published. They do everything by themselves.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
So the Witcher series, and you know everything before it like that. It's really that's what put them on the market, right? And for a lot of fans, I think they're like, take your time, do whatever you need to. Yes, they said that the game is pretty much done. All the quests are there. The whole game is there. All the NPCs, all the dialogue, and all that other fun stuff. Now, the last thing they need to do is they just need to do polishing and bug fixes, because it's a huge game. Even though it's technically a small city, it's a huge game because pretty much every inch of that city you can explore.
Project Red.
Yeah, exactly. So it's completely understandable, and for a lot of us, we're like, you know what, take your time, it's all good, because in the end we're going to get a great game. And who knows, maybe in the end we might get a new console launch version of it, obviously. They also clarified something that we kind of touched on last week about games from PlayStation being ported or being supported on PlayStation 5. They did say that if you buy a PlayStation 4 version of Cyberpunk at launch, you will also get an upgraded version if you do get a PlayStation 5.
That must be from developer decisions.
That is a developer decision.
Not a console thing. It's a probably buy per developer.
Yeah, and that's always been the case as far as like Xbox's smart delivery as well.
Okay.
Obviously, all of Xbox's first parties will get smart delivery.
That's why that list is so large.
Yeah,
but they have a lot of their own original studios
But they did say it's up to the developers, and at this point, if you're a developer, you're kind of dumb if you don't take advantage of that.
Absolutely.
Because that's kind of that was something that was that they kind of tried to do last generation with the 360 and the Xbox One version. I remember when Assassin's Creed was actually one of those games. Black Flag had just came out on the 360, and they had a very short window of time that if you take it to like a retail store or you return it or whatever, you get the upgraded version. But I think it was for a discounted price. It wasn't even like you just like, here you go. Like
it wasn't even exchange.
Yeah. So I think that's really good that this generation, they're finally like, you know what, let's just do that. And like I said, if a developer doesn't take advantage of that, that's kind of not looking good, especially when a lot of developers, especially CD Projekt Red, is so on top of that.
Right? Well, yeah. Well, and here's the thing too, like if that is the release window for a new console, like the wait sucks, but at least you're getting to experience it in that new generation at the best it can be. Because like the other thing is, it's like, yeah, like a March or September release would have been nice, but you would have had two choices: buy the game and play it on the console you have, or wait regardless and buy it on next gen. So I think the best decision they could have made is I almost feel like that almost should have been their initial plan and goal.
I agree, and a lot of people agree with that as well, that they should have just launched it with the new launch consoles and stuff. But I think
waited for the end of the year.
They also wanted to kind of do like a swan song, like one of the best like single player games that looks beautiful, like on the last generation of consoles before we move into the next one.
Yeah.
Which, like you said though, it would be a little bit smarter, and it's kind of almost good that they're launching so close to. Now we obviously don't know when they are, but we can only assume it's November.
Assumption.
Yeah. So we'll have to see what happens. But I'm 100% okay with CD Projekt Red taking their time and working on this game, even though I've been waiting for this game for years, and this is literally my dream game.
But the thing is, and I feel like this could be said for so many games that have come out, and you already, like, they announced it in 2013, somewhere in there. Like, it's been years.
Yeah, it's been 7 years.
And then Irving literally for years is like, started to think they weren't even working on it because they just released a small trailer and then never talked about it again. So the thing is, you've already waited so long that what's a little bit longer?
Yeah.
And I mean, there are, off the top of my head, Irving's not gonna like this.
No,
Destiny release was terrible.
Destiny
100% should have been delayed a year. That first game should have been delayed and really worked on and really improved. And then obviously the most recent one is Anthem. Sure, that game was in works for 7 years, but you know what they released was terrible. It was garbage. I have told Irving on numerous game releases, I would have so much more respect for a company to not look at the profits and say, well, we have to release it because we need to make money. And that's exactly why CD Projekt Red is so respected and is such a good game developer, because they would rather lose out on that initial profit and make a game that is ready to go. They're not going to cut corners. They're not going to half-ass stuff. They are, and I mean, like I said, there's so many other games that could have used that same respect. And instead of releasing it being like, oh, well, we'll just fix it later, we can patch it.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's so great about this company. And I think, like you said, like, people respect them so much that it's like, it sucks. It's heartbreaking. But they're one of those companies that it's like, people are like, but if that's what you need to do and that's the decision you're making, we stand behind you because of your track record. Your track record's so good, you don't want to do your fans dirty.
Yeah, I think the same thing could be said for, and a good example of like that level of like respect for a developer is Naughty Dog.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog did delay The Last of Us 2 a couple of times, I think 2 or 3 times, and they just had their launch last week on Friday we obviously don't own a PlayStation, so we can't. We're not going to talk about that. But you know, it's gotten really, 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 really good critic reviews. It's questionable fan reviews on Metacritics, but regardless, a lot of fans, even besides the fact that they might have some issues with whatever is going on,
back to the developer for decision made.
Yes,
absolutely.
And they're enjoying the hell out of it, you know, and it's a perfect example.
And you're always take it back. The issue is you're not gonna please everyone no matter what you do. You either have the choice again to release a game that is not ready to be released. It's not ready to go. You know it. And have people be mad because there's missing content or there's things that you could have done to make it better and people are going to point that out. Or you're going to have the fans that are going to be mad that you're delaying it. There's really no win. So the best thing you can do is make the best game you can and make those fans happy that are willing to wait. And yeah, you're going to have some people be upset and angry that, well, you told me on this day. But again, like there's just some companies that like are so respected that you're kind of like, okay, like, like you said, like there have been, I think beyond like having so much integrity in what they do, I'm sure that they've seen like Anthem last year where it was such a mess, and it's just like, no, like let's polish this. Let's. I don't know. I love that. I respect that so much, and I'm just glad. I'm glad that they are one of those developers that will just take that. They'll take the hate and the criticism for moving something, but do it because they have so much
it's for the
passion. Passion for their project. It's not about the profits. It's not like Activision over their shoulder going, well, it doesn't matter, just push it out. That's what's amazing about their company.
I think that's also why it's kind of, you know, there's good and bad about like self-publishing and being your own studio and stuff like that. Bungie is struggling with that right now. You know, they had the money of Activision. They had 3 teams that were able to push out content left and right. And they disconnected from Activision, parted ways, and we as Destiny players can kind of feel the lack of content right now. So
they're gonna hurt for a little bit. It's a transition period.
It's completely understandable right now for that, but I think when it comes to like a company like CD Projekt Red, where they can focus in and they can get shit done, and they can get things done, and they can really hone in on something, and like you said, like if it takes a little bit longer, they're gonna be able to do it, and they don't have an EA, you know, down Anthem's, you know, BioWare's back.
And EA and Activision.
Exactly, yeah, because that's exactly what happened. They would show EA these things that they were doing, and they're like, no, that's not good. No, that's not whatever. Oh, and by the way, you guys are kind of making a looter shooter, but don't look at Destiny or don't look at a Division. Don't look at any games that are in that realm of what you guys are trying to do, because we don't want you guys to, like, that's not
be inspired by that.
Or anything. And it's like, that's kind of dumb, because you got to learn from their mistakes, you know? You like you said, Destiny was launched with such bad criticism because of its like lack of content. The story was just abysmal out of nowhere, and like all this DLC that was supposed to fix the game really didn't. And it wasn't until the Taken King where they were able to kind of do like a new slate is really where that game really took off. But like EA couldn't do that. BioWare couldn't do that with Anthem, and I think that's why it was so poorly designed, because they had no idea what they were making until literally the year they showed it off at E3.
Yep.
And we'll just leave it at that.
Oh, that's what we've been working on? Cool.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing is, like, even with Bungie having like a lack of content because of the split, like the best thing you can hope is that you're taking the hit now as a Destiny player, and you're not going to get anything, but the next thing you're going to get is great. And maybe someday Bungie will turn into a CD Projekt Red as a self-developer and start being able to release what they want, release the quality they want, and not have that another debacle like the beginning of Destiny 1, and then the release of Destiny 2 that they didn't even really want to release because they, like, you know, like,
and we made those exact same mistakes.
Yeah. So maybe, like I said, maybe like I've said it, like I think it's the best thing that could have happened to Bungie. It's gonna hurt in the beginning for sure, but maybe, like I said, maybe they'll be their own boss, like CD Projekt Red, and be able to be like, we gotta delay that.
Yeah. We'll see. Only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
Okay. So last week, we talked about how amazing a gaming event was. The Sony's Future of Gaming event. This week, EA was up and ready to swing, and they did
Missed.
not. Yeah, they did not hit it out of the park. I'm just gonna be real. It's weird because I didn't really have that much expectations for EA.
No.
Which it's kind of sad, but at the same time, what they showed was so unbelievably, not bad, but just disappointing.
It was a waste of time.
Underwhelming, yeah, and
Very
a waste of time. It was very underwhelming, and I'm sorry, but like maybe what was it, like 6 or 7 games, and none of those are games that were officially announced for this new generation. That is not good, not good at all. We are going to talk about some things that are good, though.
Yeah.
Okay. But just overall, it was very, very underwhelming. You saw my tweet. My brother saw my tweet, and he tweeted, "Oh, this week's episode's going to be good." Shout out to Josie. Now, they started off by talking about Apex. No, Apex, right?
Yeah.
Apex. Okay.
Yeah, Apex. It was Apex.
Okay. Which they're talking about season 5 of their game, which is a new battle pass, new cosmetics, new things, new game modes and stuff like that. Apex has been one of their best games, consistent games that they've had for a really long time. Every season they get better. They always bring good content, and like they might have had a rocky start with their like seasonal content with the release of, I think it was like the Wild Hunt. That was not well received at all because of the microtransactions, but
yeah.
Everything after that has been really, really good. And this next season looks great. And one of the biggest things that they talked about this event was cross-platform for current games, including Apex coming this fall, and Steam. Which, that sounds weird because you obviously can play most of these games already on PC, but it's Origins, yeah. That it's still kind of strange though that most of the games that they talked about today were like, and Steam, and Steam, it's coming to Steam. It's maybe it's just because we're not like big like PC heads or something.
Well, you are. I guess maybe maybe I just don't understand. Okay, so because if you already own the game on Origin, then you have to rebuy it on Steam.
So like you're talking about something like The Sims that we'll talk about next.
Yeah.
But
there's not much to talk about.
Well, there really isn't. But but yes, yeah, I would assume so because it's a different platform. Steam needs to make money. So if you have like cosmetics and stuff in Origins for your Apex characters and all that stuff, you would have to rebuy them in Steam is what I'm assuming.
Just the only people that benefits are people who haven't played those games yet. And yes, I get maybe there's more discoverability because it'll be on Steam. But for the most part, all it's doing is making some people click 2 less buttons.
Yeah.
Instead of having to close your Steam and open your Origin.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe there's something that I don't get because I don't play a lot of games on the computer, but I don't get what's... I mean, okay, like, oh yeah, now you can buy it on Steam. So like I said, if you don't own something, like... Cool,
it is, yeah.
But I think they just like made that such a talking point that it was kind of confusing, like, oh, okay.
Like like I said, like I think it's exciting for people who love Steam. There are people that are diehards on Steam. They have all their achievements on there. They have all these things on. They have their entire friends list on there, which is great. But you're right. But if that's
your biggest selling point at your conference, like that just kind of shows how underwhelming your what you're presenting is.
Exactly.
That should not be like, oh, one of the big highlights is like, it should be like, that should kind of be glossed over in a way. Like, yes, oh, it's cool.
It's like a bonus.
We can do this. Yes, it's a bonus. Exactly. Yeah. Like, oh, hey, and bonuses, we're on Steam now. That shouldn't be like, oh, and you can get it on Steam. Like,
yeah.
And then like expecting that to like be that shouldn't be your hype.
Yeah.
And it kind of felt like it was supposed to be. Like, we were all supposed to be so excited.
Yeah, I don't know. It was very odd. Now the other thing too with Apex is that it's also coming to Switch. So now you can play at 30 frames per second with really 720p and try to get to Apex Predator on the go.
Well, you know, you just you take what you can get when you travel.
I guess you're right. You know, I think
better than nothing. I mean, honestly, like, well, I was gonna see every time I go like, oh, you know, honestly, it'll be great. Like, if you travel, I'm like, okay, well, if I go to Japan, I'm on a plane, I have no Wi-Fi. I can't play Apex. I can't play Overwatch. I can't. So every time that I go like, oh, well, I see why. And then there's so few situations that it's a lot of those games are really worth
Yeah,
it.
because you're really gonna, pwn noobs with your Wi-Fi internet on your hotel.
with your little hotspot on your phone.
Yeah.
your lagging frame.
Yeah. Now the next thing we will talk about is Sims. Sims had a little trailer, and it was cute. It was nice. It was very much
nice that they're trying to be, we're so inclusive, but that's kind of always been their shtick.
Yeah.
And so it's not like,
it's a revelation.
Wow, yeah. I had no idea. And it was literally just a, here's a feel good moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it was. That was just like, here's a feel good because we got nothing for you.
We got nothing.
I was actually annoyed. That's the only reason I wanted to watch EA. Like, so here's my thing: is I don't own a lot of the Sims packs because that is expensive. Mm-hmm. That game is like when I added up how much it would cost to own all of the Sims packs 2 years ago, it was well over $500 if it's not on sale.
That's wild.
Yeah. So as much as I love the Sims, I haven't bought a pack. I haven't bought a pack since Pets.
Yeah.
But I'm always excited because I do watch a lot of Sims content creators. Mm-hmm. Anytime a new pack comes out, I live vicariously through YouTube content creators, and I watch them unpack it and show me what's in it, and I get really excited, and then I go, cool, okay, well, I'm not gonna buy that because I can't afford it. But so I just don't understand why they have an entire timeline of things that they have coming out. Why would you, for your own event, not at least just announce something? It could be months down the line, but announce something. Announce a stuff pack. I do know that they literally just released a new expansion 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I get that they've already done that, but why wouldn't you just have something? It's your event. It's not like we're at E3 where it's we're competing with a bunch of people. It doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. This is your event. Give me something.
Seriously.
Give me something.
Yeah. Or maybe even if you use EA discount code EA Play, you get 10% off or something like that.
Well, the thing is that here's the thing. If you buy The Sims at full price, you an idiot. Because they
always have
they literally have they literally
mean,
have sales probably once a month. They have
it wouldn't have been as impressive.
No, you're right.
To
you're right though.
players
something something. Yeah, give me a discount code though. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give me your feel good trailer. I'm here for something new.
Or you know what would have been really good? Free to try, right? A free to try weekend for The Sims, or a free base game is free or something.
Please, okay. If I'm wrong, we're gonna just cut this. But I think the base game is free.
Is it?
Am I making stuff? I might be making something up.
It wouldn't surprise me.
If it isn't though, then yes, something like that. I don't know, just something
Yeah, it's
give me anything for The Sims. I love The Sims.
It was really odd.
And they release a certain amount of things throughout the year that it's you guys couldn't have, or give a hint. Because the Sims people love to try and put shit together too, and the Overwatch, all these game people are constantly trying to figure out what the next thing's gonna be, and Overwatch and Sims is the same way. I watch things where it's oh well, this could be the thing, or this could be the thing. If at the end, just give a little something for people to talk about. Oh, is it gonna be such and such a theme next? I don't know. Yeah, even that.
Yeah, well, we got a feel-good story, and that's about all we got.
It.
Yeah.
And I actually, you know what's sad, is I've probably already just now talked about The Sims longer than they talked about The Sims at their own conference, so we're going to wrap.
With that being said, we'll move on, yeah.
I've given The Sims more limelight than EA did. So.
Yeah, their own event. Haze Light developers, the developers from A Way Out, and I think Brothers Two Tales.
Felt like another feel-good. It felt like feel-good after feel-good.
It did, and a lot of the what filled in the entire 1 hour event was a lot of fluff, a lot of interviews, a lot of things of oh, look at this, let's talk with the creator, and kudos to the boy Joseph. He's a very passionate guy. He's very funny.
He was great to watch.
Exactly.
That's not what we're here for.
And the game that they showed, It Takes Two, it looks interesting. He's a very passionate developer, and he loves talking about his game. He believes in his game so much. So it's really nice to be able to see somebody who's so passionate and excited about video games. Again, it was just another feel-good thing. We hardly saw really anything about it. All he did was just explain the game. And that's pretty much what the next one was as well. From the people from Zoink Games, the Swedish developers.
This is the only thing I actually did get excited for.
It looked cool. Lost in Random.
Yeah, it's my style. It's my aesthetic. I'm all about the gothic, Tim
Burton,
Burton-esque.
yeah.
Like it was very the world very much looked like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
So I got really excited just because there's not a lot of games in this kind of like, it's such a specific niche style.
Yeah.
But those of us who love it are out there. And the minute we see something, we're super excited and super passionate. Like I just love that.
Yeah.
Like
it looked good.
aesthetic.
Like and it also goes back into like these guys were also really passionate about this project as well.
Mhm.
Lost in Random.
Dicey's adorable.
Yeah, Dicey is he's your companion, your little companion in a world of random events and stuff, and you play as this girl who is trying to break that randomness, and I think Dicey helps her along the journey and stuff. But it looked, like you said, it looked great. The art style looked really good. We saw a little bit of the game, nothing too crazy, but
more of that than we saw of most things, though. Which
true.
was nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
Love it. I'm excited. No release date or anything on that, though. Just 21.
Yeah, no release date. Now, the next thing that they also talked about was Rocket Arena. 3v3 Rocket game.
Yeah, okay.
That people... Okay, so here's the thing. People on the internet were like, they're like, oh, it's just an Overwatch clone. I can't believe that people are... And it's like, nothing about that.
So far from an Overwatch
just
clone.
because it's a hero shooter doesn't mean that every game that's a hero shooter
is not a clone.
Overwatch clone.
Just like every military or every shooter that's more realistic isn't a Call of Duty clone.
Yeah,
like you can't compare Call of Duty and Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah,
they're two completely different games.
Even Call of Duty and like Battlefield
are totally different.
Yeah. And like it's like these are the same
those
people.
Comparisons get old.
These are the same people that are also saying that like like Valorant is just another Overwatch clone, and it's like, have you it's
you haven't played it, you don't know.
Regardless of the fact, it's a 3v3 arena style shooter. It looked fun. It looked really cute, and like the different characters were really cool, unique, and all of them were really unique actually. And it looked great, but the entire time we were watching it, they were listing everything off, right? They were like, these mini maps at launch, we're gonna have content in the end, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do that, and we're like, and it's free, right? It's gotta be free.
Waiting for the free to play.
Is it free? Like it's gotta be free. Like
they never said anything, so we don't know. We don't know. It has to be free to play, otherwise it's not gonna get anywhere.
And that sounds awful, right? It sounds awful that like you would be like, oh, that like if it's not free, like no one's gonna play it. But we see games, right, that try to do something unique, or like a small studio or something like that, and they get compared to an Overwatch clone or whatever clone, and like they just get kind of buried underneath. Like as messed up as it sounds, and to be honest, if Bleeding Edge was not on Game Pass, that game would not survive at all.
No, there's something about that style of game. I think that certain developers made it free to play, so now there's an expectation if it's similar in any sort of way, that game also needs to be free to play. Because why would I play this when I can just go play this for free? Like once a certain expectation is set in a genre, in a genre. Oh my gosh, in a genre, then it's kind of like you have to follow suit.
Yeah.
Unless your production quality on your game is so much better. Like it would have to be almost on like an Overwatch level of quality to expect to be paid for. And it's like I would definitely more compare that game to, it reminded me of, like you said, like a Bleeding Edge, like in kind of how the maps look like they were laid out, how you were on hoverboards, how it was not just a straight up shooter. Like it definitely had more of that feel. So when you have something to compare it to, it's just like it, and it didn't look like it was such a higher quality that they could demand money. Like it didn't look bad. I'm not saying it looked bad. But it just didn't seem like it was on such a high level of quality that it needs to be free. It needs to be free to play.
Exactly. Like what Alyssa's saying, it's like we're not trying to knock down a developer. We're not saying it's not good enough for you to make money, or for you to ask for money. But it's hard to believe that game will not be free and have microtransaction elements that would help them make money. It's really hard to see that game being able to do that, because it'd be great if the game was like $30 and you pay it once and then you get all this content for free. But we're talking about EA. Like it's kind of hard to believe that its content is free, which is kind of strange to say, because I mean the next a couple more games down we'll talk about Rogue Squadron, but everything in that game is free, which is kind of odd to think about.
Well, and it's just interesting because it's like I looked at that game, and the first thing I said to Irving is, "Oh, kind of weird, but it looks cute. it looks like it could be fun. I'll try it if it's free.
Yeah.
That was literally I was like, I'll give it a shot if it's free. If it's free to play. But there was nothing amazing enough about it for me to be like, oh, I would spend money on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we get into the next big thing, I know that we'll talk about the next big thing actually, which was kind of leaked on Monday, and then a couple hours later, EA was like, "Oh, here's our trailer." So we don't know if like they were already gonna announce that trailer that Monday, or because of the leak, that's kind of why they pushed that trailer out first.
There's no again. That would be bad, awful, terrible marketing if you said, let's release the trailer and then have an event 3 days later. Like, it had to event. It got leaked. Just put it out. I still though think the event was so close that they should have just waited. Like, okay, there's stuff that's out there, but people who are really diehard fans are gonna want to be hyped. So like it feels like like their big game got ruined. The hype got ruined because they had to release that trailer sooner.
I would say the hype got ruined, but man, the hype continued as soon as they showed this off. Star Wars Squadrons is what we're talking about, by the way. Star Wars Squadrons, the next game.
I'm not saying like that, but okay. But so what I'm saying though is like, imagine if they'd waited to show the trailer and like, you know, like diehard fans. Like, I feel like you're the kind of person who, if they didn't release the trailer, you would have just been like, oh, I want to look at it so bad, but I'm gonna wait. Like, I just
for sure, you're right.
And imagine how much more exciting it would have been if you hadn't seen anything or you didn't know anything.
It's so funny too because they showed the trailer, the just like it was like a cinematic trailer, right? And it showed, you know, the Rebels and the Imperial, and they're going back and forth about like, you know, they're doing a nice little monologue speech, and it looked great. And it was a cinematic trailer, so there was no gameplay, but man, people were hyped. And I thought that's all they were gonna do, and then they were like, because at the end they said, come back on Thursday, we're gonna show you off the gameplay and all that stuff. But they announced pretty much almost everything as far as details go. That it was a 5v5. It was going to be 2 game modes. It was going to be very team based oriented. There's going to have a story mode and a multiplayer mode. And like they kind of just were like boom, 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 boom right from Monday. So it was kind of weird that like come Thursday when we were supposed to find out more about this game, that I already knew a lot about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were holding on to some stuff about it, which was even more impressive. And when they finally showed the gameplay, oh my lord. Like,
yeah, it looked amazing. It was beautiful.
So good. And it's something that I was talking to my cousin. So just as like some background, like the reason why I'm so hyped for this game was because my brother and my cousins and I, we would play Star Wars Rogue Squadron so much. And we played such a fun game for us. And like, even though it was single player, and I think they had like 1v1 dogfighting in it, and that was fun. We have such fond memories of playing that game.
Now you guys can actually all play it together.
Exactly. So like, as soon as the trailer dropped, we were like, oh, we've got a 4-man squad right now. We need to find a 5th, and we're going to run these tactics, and we're going to do that. And when they showed the gameplay and they explained how the game works, like, it's not just the Battlefront 2 clone where, and that has nothing, that's like, I'm not talking bad about Battlefront 2's content of that, because Battlefront 2's dogfighting in that, and it was done by Criterion, which they did Burnout and stuff like that with great team. That is such a good starfighter. Like, in my opinion, what's a really good starfighting like mode and stuff. But this looks even better than that. And I didn't think that was going to be possible. That was going to be that this team Motive, which again, nothing against Motive, but I didn't think that they would be able to do such a good better version of what Battlefront 2 was. And I'm just genuinely surprised, and also very, very happy that it looks just as good. So I'm very excited for this game. It's only going to be $40 cross-platform. $40 cross-platform, which is insane. It is also VR support, and you can also use the flight HOTAS, the flight sticks for PC and stuff like that.
Why is it so cheap? Is there just not going to be that much content in it? Like, it's pretty bare bones, even though it's...
Yeah. So
that's great though. I mean, at least they aren't like, here's a $60 game that should be $40. At least they're pretty realistic about their pricing.
No, but it also makes me sad because there is no future DLC content and stuff like that that's coming. So that's also why I'm kind of like, oh, that sucks.
It's very bittersweet.
Yeah, because like it is what it is. It is what it. But like, I guarantee, like, this is gonna make money. sorry, the hard.
Don't touch the table. Our mic can't do it.
Like Star Wars fans are one thing, but when it comes to like combat and flight simulator like style of games,
I know
that's a whole other like genre of like beast of like fan base, and this is such a good combination of a good combination that people are just gonna eat it up, and EA would be dumb not to like keep like adding more.
I was gonna say, you know, the thing is, if the sales numbers are right, EA will 100% do a DLC.
Yeah.
And that'll also cost you $40.
No, for sure. If they don't do a DLC, they'll probably do a sequel, and that would be okay with me as well. But I'm very, very excited about this game. I've talked about it with my cousins and my brother so much, like this weekend at a party. That's all we talked about, and I know that a lot of people are really happy for it as well, and are huge fans. So yeah, I know you don't have a lot of experience in Star Wars, nor do you have experience in Rogue Squadron, and you're kind of like, you know, it looks pretty, but I can't play it because, oof.
I can't do the flying. Like, my brain doesn't work for the flying games. Yeah. I can't even, like, the joke I made when Irving was like, do you want to be our fifth? I was like, I can't even do the flying levels in Spyro.
That's true.
Yeah, you think that I can? Oh, better yet, I don't even enjoy the flying levels in Spyro. You think I would be able to do a Star Wars flight simulator? No.
Yeah, no.
It looked beautiful though. I told Irving, I was like, if I liked these types of games, I'd be so hyped, because we were watching them like fly through the universes, and it just looked like, I just don't even have words for it. It looked great. I was like, yeah, if I liked those types of games, I'd be so hyped because this looks amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I will just backseat watch you play it. That's one of those, like, I'll watch it on Twitch sort of games for me.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I said at the beginning of this conversation that they didn't officially announce anything for this generation.
There were hints.
There were hints, and we saw tech demos of games and stuff like that, and they showed a really fancy, you know, like trailer or whatever it was of blending between Madden and like FIFA and stuff. And EA Games like the sports division is always, every year they bring out a Madden, every year they bring out a FIFA, and what they showed looked really impressive and it looked great. But for me, and it's sad because for a lot of like gamers, when they show sports games, that's bathroom break. And it's nothing against the sports games because it looked great, but at the same time, that's a very, very niche like audience. Exactly. And it was kind of odd that they didn't really show anything solid. And the same thing could be said for the next Battlefield, the next Dragon Age game. And no talk about the next Mass Effect game, nor do they even touch on Anthem with their reboot that they're doing. So and again, that's not next generation. Anthem isn't next generation, but I'm just saying in general it's just kind of strange that they didn't talk about that. A lot of people were disappointed that a Mass Effect trilogy remake wasn't in the works. I am one of those people. The game looks great on 360 and all that stuff, and you can play Mass Effect 2 and 3 and they still hold up. But Mass Effect 1 was such a slog to get through because of the combat.
Yeah, I stopped playing it really quickly. I tried it and I hated it.
Which it makes me sad because like that is such a fantastic. It's my favorite franchise ever. Everybody knows that. You know that. We got married on N7 on November 7th.
He convinced me for N7 though, because it's also 117 and I love Halo.
Yeah, and we met on Halo. We met the first time we ever, you know, talked and stuff was on Halo 5, I think, or 4. So for me, Mass Effect is huge. I love Mass Effect, and and it sounds weird, but I would have loved to play the original Mass Effect if they did like a kind of like a Resident Evil 2, Final Fantasy 7, Spyro remake-ish, you know?
Full remake.
Exactly, where they take the game and they, you know, fix up, polish up like the combat and take the combat from 2 or even 3, put it into 1. People will eat that up. People would love that. And that's why people were going crazy that they wasn't announced. Like, how could you miss like such a perfect opportunity? Right?
Yeah. No, Mass Effect's one of those diehard fan
Mhm.
fandoms. Like,
Same thing with Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Like they have that. They can do something with that. Like we only got Knights of the Old Republic 2 and their MMO was like a really bad launch, but like it's gotten better, you know, it did better and stuff like that. But like even a Knights of the Old Republic remake from the ground up, that would be insane. And we didn't get any of that. Now I know that's asking a lot. It might be in development, it might be really early in. But they announced Skate 4, and that is literally like I'm pretty sure they started working on that last week because Skate 4 came out of nowhere.
that developer was smiling and like, I got no video because
Mm-hmm.
shrug.
It's sad to say, but I feel like that developer felt like the Anthem team, where they were like, "Oh, I guess we're making a game this year."
Yeah, honestly.
The reason why I say that is because Skate 3, I forget what year it came out. It's been a while. It's been a while since those, you know, skateboarding game craze has
minute.
Yeah, it's been a while since those games have were, you know, reached this peak, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original Tony Hawk series. You had Tony Hawk Underground too, as well, and like Skate brought that kind of style into a new form. It's kind of like, you know, Tony Hawk was the Forza, or like a Need for Speed, really like arcadey and stuff like that. And then Skate is like a Forza game where like it's a simulator almost, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was very, very inventive of how they used the joystick in order to do tricks. You wanted to do an ollie, you push down to go down, and then up to ollie. You do a kickflip to the left, you could do a heel flip to the right, you could do a flip this way to do a varial flip. It was so good. And we again, this is something we talked about with my cousin and my brother, but like we used to love that game, hit each other up like, "Oh dude, you got to check out this spot, like check out this line that I did, oh check out this video." And it's so good. And it peaked at 3, and then they never touched it again. And it's been such a long time that it's kind of odd that they decided out of nowhere to revive it, because we were hearing rumors literally this year that EA had no plans to do a Skate 4, and if they were going to do anything skate related, it was going to be a Skate 3 on mobile. Yeah. So my theory is that people are hungry for that Skate, right? And because of that, we have developers there's 2 kind of Skate games in the works right now, which are about to launch actually, which is Skate XL and Session. And those games are like small studios. It's very reminiscent of Skate. So my theory is that EA kind of saw this hype for it, and they're like, "Oh, I guess people really want it then. Okay, sure, let's do a Skate." And that's the only reason why they're doing it. They have no faith, and it's sad. They had no faith prior to this kind of hype for these 2 games that Skate would be able to make them money.
They were like, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. We see those dollars coming in elsewhere. All right, let's jump on.
Yep.
Let's jump on the skateboard.
Exactly. And again, the biggest, you know, reason why I think so is because they didn't show anything, and they said it was very, very early in development. So it would not surprise me if this was greenlit about maximum 2 months ago.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what it felt like with. You could see the developer had that like, "Oh, I just got the news" kind of giddiness.
Yeah.
And then 2, also just being like, "I have nothing to show because it's so early in." Like, yeah, that was a last minute decision. Like, okay, we'll finally do it, and you can be on our show.
Mm-hmm.
And it is weird because Tony Hawk is getting a remake, right? Is it a remake?
Yeah, it's a remake. It's like a remake. It's like a ground up remake, like Spyro for Tony Hawk 1 and 2, where they're also adding some elements of like the future games, and they're like bringing it into there as well. Sort of like what I said that Mass Effect should do. Yeah, where they should take like the
Well, so what's weird about that, right, is you have like people have been wanting a new Skate, and then Tony Hawk announced that those other 2 that you talked about, so it's 3 Skate games right there. So but the issue is those are far in development. So like it kind of feels like like, oh, let me jump on your coattails, and but it's gonna take them months to years to get anything out. So they better hope that the Skate hype is still there, and that the sudden reemergence of people wanting to do these skating games is still a thing by the time they get it finished.
That's very true, because it is so early that we're probably not going to see this game for minimum of I want to say a year and a half, but like 2 years that we won't be able to see Skate 4, and by then, who knows if that magic is still recaptured and it's still in people's minds that they want that, because that is such a niche game, right? Like
that style of game is completely niche, and it's very much. It feels like game developers are making a good decision and really jumping on the nostalgia train. But that doesn't mean that the nostalgia train will still be running 2 years from now.
Yeah,
I think they will have a good shot with it 2 years from now. But it is just like it does just feel like they jumped on the coattails. We're like, oh, this is a thing. Okay, we're gonna do one too.
Yeah,
like,
which I mean, I'm happy for the developer, because you can see on his face how excited he was.
Yeah,
the entire fan base of Skate blew up and all that stuff, and I hate to be
excited about it.
And I hate to be the person who talks about it in this way, but it's just I'm also realistic as far as like this was only greenlit because of the hype.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, you're not bashing on the developer. No. Like it was clear that guy wanted to do this and has been wanting to do this.
Yeah.
It's more the bash on EA.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to get at. It's like, nothing against them. I'm really excited. I'm really happy. I'm happy for the community as well. But at the same time, it's kind of bittersweet, because EA is they only did this because of that reason, and it kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Not for the love and the passion of the project, which seems to be a running theme tonight. It wasn't for that, and it feels like it wasn't for the faith of that developer, who clearly is very passionate and very excited. And it always, that, as we've said earlier in this cast, like, what's so different between like self-publishers or people who can do their own thing is passion, versus like these companies like EA, Activision, like the really big ones, where it's all profit. And I get it. These companies are businesses. They need to make money. But it definitely, you can see these times when it steps in and it becomes a problem and it gets in the way of a very passionate community. Because that's what gamers are. Extremely diehard and passionate about things. And it's just, I mean, it's good. Yeah, it's good that Skate got greenlit. It just kind of, like you said, though, it's rubbing you the wrong way, because it's just kind of like,
it got greenlit for a different reason, as opposed to, like you said, they believed in the game, that they would, and
not because the fans who have been crying out for it for years want it, because they're like, oh, money.
Yeah.
Cha-ching.
Yeah. Well, that's basically what happened this week. Now,
felt like we kind of had to drag out these conversations. So again, it feels like we talked more about EA's games than they did at their own what's it called? Like, it's kind of sad.
It is a little odd.
It was a very disappointing.
And on that note, thank you guys very much for joining us on our second episode of Power On Weekly. We really appreciate your support.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, don't forget to
like and subscribe.
Hit the bell notification so you get notified when we post our videos
Go live.
weekly. Yeah.
Go not live.
We don't know how to do this YouTube thing.
It's been a hot minute.
It has been.
Yeah.
But again, thank you guys for joining us.
Thank
you
you
for your support, and we will see you guys next week. Take care.